All right, round two. Welcome to the RotoWire Esports Show. My name is Ethan Sexton, and with me, as always, is DFS Chan. Chan, how you doing today?
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to refresh my window there. So, but anyway, I'm here. So
yeah, no big deal, man. No big deal. We'll get it right this time. No problem. Chan, it's been a couple days since we recorded, but let's go ahead and recap this morning's two-gamer in the LPL. It ended up being a sort of boring slate in some ways, Chan. It started things off with BLG taking on Ultra Prime, formerly eStar. And, we got a little bit of excitement to begin the day because Ultra Prime were able to upset BLG in game one before BLG came back for the reverse sweep, taking them out. So BLG are in 7th place. They got their 9th win. They should be locked into a playoff spot. And, Ultra Prime, 4-11. We already knew that they weren't going to make the playoffs. So a good win for BLG as they look to head into the playoffs here.
Yeah, I agree. BLG's starting to gain form and excuse me, but man, I'm all over today. Anyway, so yeah, BLG looked pretty good. I was excited to see Aiming and Zika play well today. I know it was against Ultra Prime, but I think BLG's can be a dangerous team. I feel like they can compete against some middle of the tier playoff teams. In my opinion, I think they match up well against certain teams that play that focus more on the macro game. So I like BLG's form going into the playoffs, and Ultra Prime, like you said, I mean, they're not making the playoffs. So, they try to play a spoiler against BLG, but, BLG took care of business in game 2 and game 3 today.
Yeah, I guess the most interesting thing about that series, Chan, is that it was the game stack of that series that took down the slate today, because the second series between Suning and Rare Atom, what a snoozer of a series, man. I mean, that was pretty boring, if I do say so myself. Rare Atom, they won game 1, Suning won game 2, and then Rare Atom took down game 3 to take down the series. Rare Atom were already locked in the playoffs at 10-5. Suning are currently 8-7. They're in 10th place, which is the final playoff spot. So they need to win in their next series this week to hopefully jump into a playoff spot for them. But this was a pretty boring series overall, Chan, and not very good for DFS.
Yeah, I think there are certain scenarios that actually got Suning qualified for the playoff spot, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I think there's some issues. Yeah, with Top Esports and JD Gaming, the tiebreakers favor Suning for some reason. So anyway, but nonetheless, yeah, Suning looked decent, but Rare Atom looked even better today. I mean, I feel like this series today could have gone either way, really. I mean, game 1 was dominated by Rare Atom, and then game 2 was dominated by Suning. I think it was more of a side selection thing, and then game 3 really came down to the last dragon fight they had. I think it was for the dragon fight, and it really, I mean, these two teams, along with some other teams that we talked about previously, really, I mean, their competition level is very close. So game 3 really came down to that one fight, and Fofo had that amazing Azir ultimate that separated these two teams, and then they snowballed. Rare Atom snowballed after that by getting Baron. And at the end of the game, I mean, the goal difference was only by 4,000, and that's rare, amongst any games, any LPL or LCK games, really. So it was a really closely fought game series, and yeah, Rare Atom looked really good in terms of having a better macro team fights and macro game than Suning. I know Suning has been playing slow, and Rare Atom has been obviously playing very slow in the entire split. We compared them jokingly to an LCK team, but yeah, I mean they did that, and I think these two teams are gonna be dangerous. I mean, I personally think these two teams are better than BLG still. But we'll see what happens, going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and you're right, Chan, about Suning are actually locked into a playoff spot despite being in 10th place. They have the head-to-head over JD Gaming, who's in 11th. They don't have the head-to-head over Top, but JDG have the head-to-head over Top. So JDG could finish the year 8-8, and if Top lose their final two series, they could also be 8-8. which would mean that JD Gaming would end up in 10th. So Suning, despite being in 10th right now, are actually already in the playoffs. So I'm glad you brought that up. Chan, let's go ahead and we'll jump into tomorrow's slate. Two-gamer, but a pretty interesting two-gamer, man. This is a good-looking two-gamer with two really good matchups here. So we kick things off with Top Esports. If Top win, they clinch their playoff spot, and JD Gaming will be eliminated, Chan. So a big, important matchup for Top. Of course, they have two chances this week. They only need one win. Top Esports, since July 8th, Chan, their record goes win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So they're coming off a loss to Ultra Prime, which was pretty surprising, of course. So if this trend continues, Chan, then they're going to win tomorrow against an OMG team who are also locked into the playoffs at 9-6. But I think, Chan, this is a pretty interesting game here, series here, because OMG have been in pretty decent form lately. And Top Esports, like we said, are hit or miss. So, I think this is a tough one to call. Top Esports are the favorites, and they're priced as the favorites. The second biggest favorites on the slate, actually, Karsa and Zhuo and Knight are all the most expensive on DraftKings in their respective roles. But Chan, I think if I'm playing, I might want to take my shot with OMG here.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategy in my opinion. Like you said, I mean, Top Esports coming off of a bad loss against, a bad team. I think, I actually have prediction-wise, I have Top Esports win here. But as we talked about from the playoff standpoint, there are a lot of layers to go through here. I feel like Top Esports and OMG both have clinched their playoff spots. Now they're just playing for a better seeding, at this point. So, there's a chance that, they may just have a clown fiesta here, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like, in the LCS, I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend, but TSM and Dignitas, I mean, they swapped their entire roles amongst the players, and they just had a blast, really. So, there is a chance that they might do that. I don't think they will, because they're still playing for playoff seeding. There's small motivation there. Now, like you said, I mean, Top Esports, I think, like you said, it needs to win this, really. I mean, to clinch it. I mean, more than likely they're going to make the playoffs. But Top Esports really need to win. And OMG, frankly, in my opinion, OMG's been more of a win through a team fight style team. Their win condition is attached to their just winning team fights here and there. I know their metrics are not very good compared to where they are in the standings. That tells me that they really either have gotten lucky with their team fights, and they just win some team fights around critical objectives, and they just snowball from there. So that really doesn't fly well to me, in my opinion, when I analyze these things. I know Top Esports is also a very, very good team fighting team. I know Knight has been the best mid laner in the LPL, or not, if not in the world. And OMG's win conditions usually tied to Cream playing really well on carrying champions. And going up individually against Knight, who's been the best mid laner, I just don't think OMG is going to have success there, in my opinion. I'm not confident in Able and Cold and OMG to dominate Jackie Love and Duo. There's a chance that Jackie Love, as always, have that smirk on his face and go, toe-to-toe against Able and Cold and make some mistakes and critical mistakes. But I just feel like coming off of a bad loss, I mean, I feel like they're gonna be in a FU mode, and they're gonna be, really focused here. And I feel like honed in, and beat OMG here 2-0, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think despite saying that I think I want to play OMG and DFS, I think that's more of a leverage play, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think OMG probably come in with the lowest ownership on this 2-game slate, but I think I got to side with Top Esports as well. If Top lose, it wouldn't be surprising, but it's just kind of, I feel like Top have more talent, but OMG have a better record, basically. I just feel like this is a spot. I agree with you that Top, they can clinch playoffs with a win. This is the perceived easier matchup because they played WE later in the week. So I think they'll want to take care of business and really lock in that playoff spot here and take out OMG tomorrow. So while I think that Top Esports will ultimately win this series, I like taking a shot with OMG at probably the lowest ownership on the slate because they have beaten some good teams this split. So I think it's definitely something that could happen. One thing to point out, though, if you're playing top, you brought him up. Knight is the main man. So get that guy in your lineups. He needs one solo kill, Chan, to break the all-time single split solo kill record. So I think he's probably going to get that done tomorrow. And he's a huge neutralizing factor on Cream. Cream has arguably been OMG's best player, but it's kind of hard to pop off and really carry through mid lane against Top Esports.
Yeah, and to your point about OMG being a good GPP play, I agree. I mean, OMG in this matchup is definitely for DFS purposes a faster matchup compared to RNG versus Team WE. So I would definitely get a GPP piece here for OMG if you are playing multiple lineups. Now, OMG, yeah, I mean, I just feel like Cream is their best play, has been their best player late in the split. But he's going up against Knight. And also another plus for Top Esports is that they're still starting 369 and Duo here. They have another game under their belt together with this whole lineup. So it looks like Chong Tion is not coming back, unfortunately, for the playoffs. I know he started every single game except for the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's really unfortunate. But I guess they do think that they look much better and they play much better with 369 and Duo. So that's another huge plus. And I feel like, I can trust their veteranship against OMG here. So,
yeah, I ultimately, I gotta side with you and agree with you. Chan, I'm trying to pull something up, but I'll get it in a minute because hold on. I think I got it. Just give me 1 sec. But you brought up Chong Tion. I saw this. Give me 1 sec. All right. I saw this awesome. All right, I shouldn't have done this on the fly probably, but give me just a sec. I saw this awesome picture of Chong Tion today. It says, you could see the thing here. They asked him a question. What do you do on your days off? The man said, I sleep in and then I play ranked. So that guy is he's a legend, man, in my book. But yeah, I think that Top Esports are better off with 369 in the lineup. But Chen, let's jump over to the next series. Sorry, you brought up Chong Tion, and I just, he's our boy, man. We love this guy. I had to pull that up because I remember seeing that today. So the second series, Chen, this is a really close one as well. Another really good series on this 2-game slate. We've got RNG taking on WE. Both teams are already locked into the playoffs. WE are 10-4 in third place in the LPL. RNG 9-5. 6th place in the LPL. Chan, both of these teams are in great form. WE have 6 straight wins, and 3 of the 6 are sweeps. Well, we talk about RNG all the time being in great form after their rough start. RNG have won 8 straight series. Man. 7 of those 8, Chan, have been 2-0 sweeps. So both teams in really good form coming in. I think this is a really tough one to call. Where do you land here? Because I'm not really sure who I want to pick to win.
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. I mean, in my opinion, both are elite teams. It's just RNG's been in better form, in my opinion. I mean, they've been almost unstoppable. Yep. I know Team WE, I feel like they've been winning games, but they've looked a little rusty in certain spots. They've been making some questionable decisions throughout the games, but at the end, they've been pulling games off and pulling the series off in their favor. So, yeah, I mean, I would have to favor RNG here, in my opinion. It's just based on the matchup. I know RNG, let's see, I have some metrics here because I feel like stylistically they play very similarly. I know they're both good team fighting teams, but I feel like RNG is a better macro team, in my opinion. So RNG actually has a better jungling control percentage by 2% in July games. So now I know we're in August, but July, the month of July had a lot of games. Yeah, exactly. Barely. So I know RNG has been in better form and late in the split in July, especially. So I mean, I definitely have to favor RNG. I know WE has been lights out in their top 3 positions like Breathe, Beishang, and Shanks. In my opinion, they've been their win condition and best players. I know Breathe has been racking up a lot of kills, and he's involved in a lot of kill participation and kill share percentage. But you know where this is going, Ethan. He's going up against Xiaohu.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll let you talk about Xiaohu, but I feel like he's been the best top laner in my opinion in the LPL for the last 2 years so far. It's ever since he converted into the top laner. So yeah, so I have to favor RNG here. But I think this, for DFS purposes, I mean, this game is graded as the slower matchup compared to the first matchup that we just talked about, the top esports versus OMG. So, I'll probably consider a shorter stack here, but, on a 2-game slate, really anything can happen. And these are 4 elite teams, in my opinion. So really anything can happen. So, yeah.
I think I agree with you again, Chan. It sucks when we always agree together, but I gotta agree with you. I think I just think ultimately RNG have the better lineup here. You mentioned Breathe being great, but it's exactly what we talked about with Cream going up against Knight. When you have to go up against Xiaohu, it's just such a neutralizing factor. Like, you're not going to be able to snowball the game through top lane against Xiaohu, right? So I mean, I agree with you in what you said there at the end, though. I mean, any of these 4 teams could win their series tomorrow. I mean, this is a really, as far as 2-gamers go, this is a really good 2-gamer because really all 4 teams are viable to play, in my opinion. It's just that we think the 2 favorites are going to win. But we wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams won tomorrow. So I think there's a lot of different ways you can go, which makes for a good slate on a 2-gamer. It's not going to be a straight-up chalk fest. Ownership should be more spread out than normal. It makes for a really good GPP slate.
Yeah, and Crying has looked better. I feel like he's their weakest player on that team, which speaks a lot for that team. But Crying after getting benched for the second time by Yukai, he came back, I think, on Twisted Fate, at least in the game that I watched. He's playing, like I said, he always plays more of a supportive role in the mid lane. So he likes to roam and help out the other laners, and he looked much better, and the team looked much better. So maybe he just needed a little, benching action there to get him going again. So I like RNG here. But like you said, I mean, any team really, even including OMG, makes a, interesting GPP play today. So
yeah. I mean, double underdog, definitely viable. I mean, a lot of different ways you can go. So it should be a really fun slate to watch. And one where I would recommend playing a couple lineups probably, just because a lot of different ways things could shake out tomorrow. Chan, anything else you wanted to go over before we say goodbye for today?
No, but I think it would be interesting to see the playoffs picture. I know you're gonna mention Discord, but in that Discord channel, I'll be updating, every day the playoff picture for both LPL and LCK. So that way you guys will understand who is more motivated and who has more to play for and all that. So because that's very important in the last couple of weeks, in the major region tournaments here. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's things are winding down. LCS and LEC ended yesterday. Chan, Korea ends next Sunday, so we'll still have a week of regular season in Korea next week. And then China, this is the last week of the regular season, so playoffs right around the corner. And then right after that, man, we're going to be heading to Worlds after a short break. So it's an exciting time here. The end of the year for League of Legends is always a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll be here covering it as long as they keep us on the air. So hopefully we'll keep going, and looking forward to the playoffs, looking forward to Worlds, man. It's always a really fun time of year.
Yeah, and the playoffs, they're going to be in as I'm sure most of you guys saw it last year, playoffs will be in the best of 5 series. So that will be a very interesting format for DFS purposes, and we have plenty to offer on that. So, yeah, look out for that.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. That would help us out tremendously if you were to do that. If you want to check out RotoWire, you can go to rotowire.com/try. Get yourself a free 10-day trial. No credit card required. So if you want to cancel it, you don't even have to worry about canceling it. It just automatically does it itself. But we hope that you stick around. I think after you check out the site and everything that's available, not just esports related, but for all sports, if you're into all kinds of sports, great content all over the site. Once you're signed up, you can go to rotowire.com/chat. That gets you in the subscriber-only Discord server. Like Chan said, we're in there. We're talking all the time. So that's the best place to get a hold of us. So check out those links. They're down below the video if you want to check them out. Chan, good talking with you as always. And I'll catch you tomorrow for Wednesday's 2-game slate.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ethan.